Hi guys, this is What If Deku Was Betrayed, Part 1. And I know a lot of people have done this, and it sounded interesting, so I'm doing it myself. Because why not? So, a little bit of things to go over. So Deku, his left eye, he's blind in that eye. I don't know why, I just wanted to make him blind in that eye. I think I might have an idea for it too. So, we're going to start off where pretty much everyone starts off is at the USJ. Deku, well, let's say a day before the USJ. So the Class 1A minus Deku saw the footage that Deku is stealing files and all that kind of stuff. But it's not true because it's just Toga. Because they say Toga joined early. So, there. Toga and Tadabi joined early. Deku, that was at the end of the day before the USJ. So the next day, Deku saw everybody was looking bad. I don't know what that was, but ignore the background noise. I don't know what that was, actually. Something screamed. But if you heard it, you heard it. If you didn't, you didn't. But Deku is on the bus. Everybody's giving him bad looks and everything like that. So Deku asks Uraraka, why is everybody giving me bad looks? She said pretty much that, don't speak to me, villain, and everything like that. Deku's thinking in his mind, like, why did she just call me villain? But Deku just wiped it off like, oh, people are having a bad day. They're having a bad day. And the only people who aren't giving him bad looks is pretty much Baku Squad. And yeah, that's it. Baku Squad, Momo, and Todoroki. Everybody knows the reason why Baku knows Deku's innocent, because Baku has known him for years. Even though he hates to admit it, he's noticed the nerd and everything like that. He knows he writes everything down in his notebooks. So the villains are attacking, and before the villains even could attack the students attacked. Oh, and Aizawa thinks he's innocent too. The students attacked Deku, minus Baku Squad, Momo, Todoroki, and Aizawa. Aizawa instantly just jumped down there. Oh, and 13, because she has no clue what's happening. So, Deku is just wondering, like, why are they attacking me and everything like this? So, he's pretty much knocked out and everything like that. And Deku's like, he can hear everything that's happening, but he can't see anything because he has a black eye on the eye that's not blind. So Kurogiri warped him over to Shigaraki. Shigaraki touched him with 4 fingers. Said, if any of you guys move, this kid's dead. Everybody except for the people I mentioned said, we don't care. Kill him. And first of all, this surprised Aizawa, like, how stupid are my kids? How stupid are my students? So, yeah. Shigaraki actually felt bad for the kid. Because, like, seriously, he wouldn't feel bad for someone whose own friends knew him, like, really well. And everything like that. Just portrayed him, like, done, portrayed. But Deku was surprised about this. And Shigaraki just told the Nomu to kill him because he didn't want to disintegrate his neck instantly, because he felt that bad for the kid. So Nomu just threw him up like a baseball and just hit him. He went through walls into an alley. And also the big three believed him, but they weren't there, so. No, it's not Deku X Nejire. But Deku is... So, All Might arrives, does the same thing as in canon, but for plot's sake, All Might can take it back one for all. And he takes it back. Deku was actually surprised about this, because he was fading in and out of consciousness. And you could feel the power go away. He was surprised about this. So, All Might punched him. He went into the forest. Now he's fully knocked out. Like, he can't do anything. He has broken ribs, 2 broken arms, 1 broken leg, a black eye, and everything like that. So Deku's in his mindscape, and he sees the boar hat. Yeah, boar hat. And he saw 7 deadly sins, plus Elizabeth, standing outside it. Meliodas pretty much says, "Wow, kid. Friends betrayed you like that. Feel sorry." And then Deku asks, "Who are they?" And they say who they are. I don't feel like explaining. If you know who they are, you know who they are and everything like that. If you don't, just look up 7 deadly sins and you'll find it. So, Meliodas asks if he wants to be their successor. And Deku pretty much says, "Are you going to betray me like my friends did?" And they said, "No, of course not," and stuff like that. So, let's say 9 years, because Deku's going to get a sin of his own. And, I'll show you the sin in a minute, but, well, what his looks like. And so Deku is training. 9 years is 9 days out in the real world. Deku's in the forest healing up, because the first one he trained with was Bon, so he could get the immortality, so he could heal. That's the first thing they did, was get him the immortality, so he doesn't die. So Deku's training with all of them. I'm not going to go in order. Meliodas is the last. Elizabeth's second to last. Deku learns he learns all their abilities. That's it. He just learns all their abilities. So that was 8 years, because Elizabeth was there. Each year was a different sin. And Deku's sin is pretty much this. Yes, it's a Sharingan, because I'm not that creative. It's in his eye. Not his blind eye, his normal eye. His blind eye has this. It's a normal Sharingan, but white. Has a little bit of the Byakugan's abilities. It's able to see chakra for like 5 minutes. But after those 5 minutes, he's not able to see it. So, Deku's gonna look like this, just with green hair. I'm just going to leave it on here. Oh, and Deku's sacred weapon is this. White sword. Where is it? Right here. So, Deku trained in his mindscape for a long time. And Deku's OP. we all know Deku would be OP if he has the 7 Deadly Sins power. Or Madara's. Either one, he's OP. Actually, any anime's power, he's OP. Because the quirks are weak. I'm gonna go rambling off a tiny bit, but if Sakura was in the My Hero world, she could defeat everybody there. She's useless. Yes, she's useless in her own world, but if she's in a different world, she is not useless. She is strong. Deku and Sakura, if they fought, there would be destruction everywhere. If Deku could use 100%, there would be destruction everywhere. Because they would be going from blow to blow. But anyway, sorry for rambling off. I just like to ramble off. But Deku gets out of his mindscape, and he's just staying in the forest for like a month because the sports festival is 2 months after the USJ, let's just say, because of plot's sake. And Inko is not best mom. She doesn't really care about him. She pretty much neglected him. So when he was old enough, he got a job instantly. So then he could get food for himself and everything. He's just been stealing off of people. That's what he's been doing when he was younger. And let's say the dorms were implemented the last year. So they have dorms and everything. Inko didn't care. She's actually happy about it. And the way Deku got his blind eye was because of Bakugou. Well, let's not say Bakugou. Let's say they were on a camping trip and a bear came and attacked and just sliced his eye. So he has 3 scars right there. And Deku just wears an eye patch because it's stuttering. But it's just easier for him. It's just easier for him just to do that. So Deku right now. So Nedre, well, let's say the big 3 were walking through the forest. And they saw Deku training. And they knew it was Deku because they saw him. Deku's mind is of a 16, right? No, they were 15, so at 8. His mind was 23 years old, but his body was only 15. He's slim, but you still can see the muscle. So Deku's just training in the forest. He has his shirt's off because it was all battered and everything. And all he has is pants on. Pants and shoes. Deku's pretty much just training there. And the big 3 saw him and they asked, like, Midoriya and stuff like that. So Midoriya and everything, so and so. Deku said, yeah. And the big 3 were surprised that it was him. Because they couldn't find the body. Inko was happy he was dead. But when she realizes he's alive, and the sports festival happens and she's watching it, it's not good. That's not going to be good for her. She's going to want him back. Well, not romantically, but her son. Because Aizawa's going to adopt Deku because his personality now is calm, laid back, and doesn't really care. More like Shikamaru's. So Deku is just talking to him and everything, and he says he was going to come back to UA in like a week. So he could come back, actually. And they already found that Deku was innocent, so All Might was feeling bad and everything. Because as soon as Baku Squad and Momo, and Todoroki, and Aizawa heard, they instantly were happy but sad at the same time. Because he was dead. And also, I'm gonna make Todoroki a girl. Because I just want to. And that's gonna be the ship, because I want to. I don't know if I already did that ship. Actually, I think I did. Never mind about that. Don't call that number. I don't even know who that number is. And don't call him. Let's say Bakugou's a female. Bakugou's a female, because why not? So, they were all happy when they heard this, but they were also sad that Deku was dead. In quotes. So Deku, after a week, came back. After a month and a week, he came back, and he went to Principal Nezu's office. And his Mangekyo ability, he already has an internal, because I want him to. His ability is time manipulation. If I can speak right, manipulation. Time manipulation. Why can't I not speak right most times? But, so Deku is, pretty much, he goes there, and he says, hi, Nezu, and everything like that. Nezu was surprised. All Might was too. They asked who he was. Oh my god, in a fighting position. And Deku just did nothing. And Deku says, you can't remember your own student? And they were like, student, who are you? And Deku just sighs and says, I'm Izuku Midoriya. I don't know what his new last name. He wouldn't go by his last name. He wouldn't go by Midoriya anymore. It'd be Izuku something. Why not? Izuku Undead. He thinks Bon was a better father than his actual father, because his father wasn't there. And he thinks of Eileen, because she was there but didn't train him. You'll say, as he thinks as Eileen as his mother. So, Izuku Undead. So, Deku is pretty much just sitting there explaining what happened. Because Nezu thought Deku wouldn't do this, because Nezu's the smartest creature in the world. But now second smartest, because Deku's now the smartest. Because if people from like thousands of years ago, someone who lived like 750 years, 3,000 years and stuff like that, he would be smart. He would be smart and strong. So Deku right now is smarter than Nezu. So Nezu says you have to do the exam again because everybody thought you were dead and you got your quirk taken away. Deku says, okay, I'll take the exam and everything like that. So he does. Deku gets a perfect score on the exam. Even, like, correcting mistakes and everything like that. Even adding better spelling to words and everything. So Deku got like 200% on that. And Nezu was surprised. So the robot test came up and Deku just obliterated them all in 1 second. Because he just paused time and just went around just beating them up. So Deku got a lot more points than anybody ever had. So Deku's still going to be in Class 1A. So Deku right now, so Deku sees Aizawa and everything. Deku says hi to Aizawa. Because all the teachers were there. Deku just didn't know. No, yeah, Deku didn't know. Because they came in after Deku went down there and everything. And Deku knew Aizawa wouldn't believe everybody. Wouldn't believe the footage. Because even though Aizawa doesn't give two shits. Sorry for the cussing, but I was gonna say something else. He's smart. He's smart. Deku wants to become more of a hero like Aizawa now, because he doesn't look up to All Might. He looks up to Aizawa now. So Deku sees him and says hi, because only half of the staff believed him, the other half didn't. I'm not going to tell you who believed him in the staff. All you need to know, Nezu knew he was innocent, and Nezu and Aizawa knew he was innocent. That's all you need to know. So Deku, right now is pretty much just talking to everybody that believed him, ignoring everybody else who didn't. And he went back to class 1A immediately because they had a little test reader thing. So, and it said 200%. So, and they saw all the robots was destroyed. So, they instantly just threw him back in class 1A. So, Aizawa told him they have a new student today. New, but not new. They were all like, what? So, and Deku just walked in, like, saying hi and everything. He's pretty much saying hi to the people who believed him, ignoring the rest. And Deku says, hello, I'm Izuku Undead. Because he always hated his last name in this universe. He's always hated it. And he thinks that Izuku Undead fits him better. So Deku is just saying hi to the people who believed him. Saying hi to Bakugou. I'm not gonna call her by her first name because I don't want to. Bakugou is her last name. People don't know that, and I'm surprised about that. Don't know why. I'm just really surprised that people don't know Bakugou is his/her last name. In this universe, the actual My Hero, it's his. Katsuki is his first name, so people don't. I'm surprised people don't know that. But anyway, sorry for my rambling. Again, don't know why I ramble off sometimes. So, Deku's saying hi to everybody, and he sits right back in his old seat. And Deku's just sleeping because he doesn't really care, because he already knows all the stuff. Aizawa doesn't care because he is annoyed when people interrupt his sleep, so he's not going to interrupt anybody else's sleep. So, when he wakes up, it's time for lunch, because this was the beginning of the day, and Deku pretty much goes to the lunchroom, sits next to Bakugou, and they're just talking and everything. And she's happy that he was innocent because she's had a crush on him for a long time. And same with Deku. Although she would hate to admit it, she does have a crush on him. And and all the other people come up to him and say, why are you here, villain, and everything like that, because they didn't really get the news that he was innocent. The only people that knew he was innocent was the people who knew that he was innocent because of all the evidence they have. Because Deku went full cowling early, and he broke a lot of bones, so he has that scar on his hand from, like, the Todoroki versus Deku fight. Yeah, that fight, he has those scars on his hands. And Uraraka tried to come up and hug him, but he just dodged out of the way. He doesn't really care. But he did laugh a little bit when she fell on her face. And So Deku pretty much just keeps talking to everybody who believe him. Mostly Bakugou. And after a few weeks, Aizawa told him that they get a week off for the sports festival. So Deku trained in his mindscape because he still can talk to him and everything. So Deku is pretty much just training his Sharingan, his Byaku Sharingan. I don't know what to call that. The white Sharingan. That's what it is. The white Sharingan. And nobody knows except Bakugou that his blind eye, he can see out of it perfectly now. Without one problem. But his normal eye, his Sharingan eye, that it would be red, is always active. It never goes off. Same with his Byakugan eye. White Sharingan eye. It never turns off. So flashback a little bit, and Bakugou asked what's wrong with his eye. And he said that I activated my quirk when all that stuff happened. Deku said it pretty much activated when I was near death. So, Bakugou believed that and everything like that. Same with the rest of the believers. Deku told All Might and everybody too, because he knows that they get super suspicious. So Deku told him the real thing, that what happened, but he's not telling anybody else right now. So the sports festival comes up, and everybody's asking about his eye and everything. Like, when they all come out, they were asking about his eye and everything like that. Aizawa told him that when he was near death, he activated it, and it can't be turned off. Let's just call it the Uchiha sin of betrayal. Yeah, that's what it's called. So Deku used his time-stopping ability and just stopped time and pretty much went to the finish line. And the cavalry battle started. No one wants to be on his team because everybody wants his 10 million points, right? Everyone wants 10 million points, and Deku asked if he can be on a team by himself. Midnight told him that he needs someone to hold him up. Deku can use a few jutsus, like Shadow Clone, Rasengan, and stuff like that. He can use Shindori too. So Deku, also his Sharingan can deactivate, but it will show. The Sharingan can deactivate, but it won't. The look in his eye will be the same. It's like the Sharingan. It's like that. It's always active, but you can deactivate it, and it won't use any chakra, but it'll still stay. That's his eye, and he actually forgot to bring his eye patch, so his white Sharingan is showing. His white Sharingan is showing. I'm just gonna leave it on here for now. And they're also asking about that eye. He says that it used to be blind, but since of his quirk activation, he's now able to see out of that eye. And Deku can turn it into the actual Mangekyo. So imagine this, but the red is white instead. So Deku is pretty much, right now he's, just sitting waiting for everybody. It took around 10 minutes for everybody to get there. It took Deku like a millisecond to get there because he just stopped time and just went, and he just walked over into the tunnel, like near the very end, and he just started time again and just ran out. And since everybody was looking at him, Deku had to yell, "Hey, I'm finished," and pretty much like that. And so Deku's just sleeping, waiting for everybody. The cavalry battle started, and Deku is by himself, so Deku just used shadow clones and asked if this is allowed. Midnight said yes, so Deku just stopped time, took everybody's headbands and just started again, and Deku's just trolling all the headbands around and just trolling all the headbands around. So Deku was just running around, and the last minute, Deku just gave them all their headbands back and just started time again. So everybody was fighting for each other's headbands because they didn't want to go after Deku's because Deku is OP. They already knew that as soon as he stopped time. If you stop time, you're OP. So the fights go on, and Deku versus Shinso. So Deku just talks to him. So Shinso's talking to him like, "Oh, it must be amazing having an amazing quirk or whatever," because Shinso didn't hear about how he was almost near death. So Deku talked. He did get brainwashed, but all the 7 deadly sins, Elizabeth, Hawk, and Aline just kicked him right out of the brainwashing. And Shinso was like, "Who are those people in your mind?" And Deku pretty much says, "Don't ask if you don't want to know the answer." And Deku just knocks him right out of the ring. He's just using pure physical strength for that. So Deku versus all the things happen the same. Bakugou goes a tiny bit easier on Ochako because she's a female. Baku's also a female, so the fight happens, and Deku versus Todoroki. Todoroki says, "I only use half of my power." Deku says, "I only use 1% of my power." But he's not even using the Sharingan or anything. He's just using his legs. He's pretty much just kicking the ice and everything like that. No jutsus, no nothing. Deku says, I'll use all my strength if you use your fire. And after Deku talking him into it, Todoroki uses his fire, and Deku doesn't use 100%, he uses like 5. If you used 100, the whole earth would be gone. It would just be dust. And Deku just doesn't want that, so Deku's using 5%, and he's using his hands and feet only. So Todoroki uses that huge Sub-Zero Blast thing. That's what I call it, Sub-Zero Blast or something like that. Where he rapidly cools it and then heats it up, making a big explosion. Deku just stood there, and not even his head was off. Let's say his head was off. And Todoroki was shocked. He wasn't he was almost fainted and puked at the same time. And then they just saw steam coming off, and his head just reattached. And Deku just cracked his neck, wow, you actually got my head off. I'm surprised. And then he just stopped time and so when he stops time and he hits people, it won't hit them until he resumes time, and then it'll hit him with all that force at once. So Deku did that, and Todoroki just went all the way back to the wall, knocked out, unconscious. He did puke up a little blood, because if you get hit with that much force, yeah, they're not good. Deku versus Ida. Deku, pretty much just blitz Ida and just slaps him out. Like, with 50% of his power. So, like, he broke his jaw. Deku broke his jaw. And there's like, the red there is even redder than Kirishima's hair. So, Deku versus, Bakugou. Since Deku has a crush on her, Deku just walks out of the ring. He pretty much says, I give up, because he doesn't want to fight her, doesn't want to injure her. Midnight says, are you sure? And everything like that. And Deku pretty much says, yeah, I don't want to fight her, and stuff like that. And so, when Deku pretty much goes out of the ring, Bakugou won. And Bakugou asked him why did he not fight her. And Deku pretty much says, I don't want to ruin your cute little face and stuff like that. And Bakugou's just blushing. So Deku just says, you want to go on a date? And that's why I'm going to be ending it. And see you guys later. Bye.